Hi, I'm Mark. I work with GrownBy, and I'm here to give you a brief introduction to our GrownBy software platform. Just want to start by saying thank you for joining me. My name is Mark. Like I said, I work on the community team. I'm a farmer organizer with the Farm Generations Cooperative. Thrilled that you're here. Right now it's mid-July. It's very hot. There's a lot of mowing to do. But no matter what time of year that you're watching this, I'm glad that you took time out of your day to check this out. Just as a point of kind of clarity on our organization, the platform GrownBy is actually a product of Farm Generations Cooperative, which is the company that I work for. GrownBy is owned by the people it serves, and it's owned by the farmers as well as members of the technical team who use GrownBy every day. So if you decide to use GrownBy and start selling on the platform, as soon as you make your first sale, you become eligible to become a co-op owner. And if you do so, there are certain very specific benefits to being a co-op, a member owner of the co-op. So the first piece is financial equity. That gives you a stake of ownership in the business. So as your farm does sales through GrownBy, that counts towards your equity in the co-op. And in the future, when the co-op is profitable, you can get a dividend based on your financial equity. So a larger farm that does more revenue will get a bigger equity stake and would get a larger payout in that case. However, we balance that out by being what's called a true blue one member, one vote cooperative. So every farm that owns a share has the same amount of say in the major decision making of the cooperative and an equal opportunity to vote for the board of directors as well as run for the board of directors. Our board of directors is and always will be majority farmer members, and they're democratically elected by the other farmer members. And we've done this to try and create an organizational structure that gives as much democratic control directly to the farmers who are using the platform, who are depending on this marketplace for their business. We're also a value-oriented organization. In addition to building software that works for farmers, we're here for a lot of other reasons beyond that. Namely, and we're committed, and namely, we have these values and other commitments which sort of flesh out who we are as an organization, which is much more than just a tech company. So we are committed to everybody in the food chain being compensated fairly, that agricultural practices should support a healthy global ecosystem, that there is a long history of injustice and repression, particularly of indigenous farmers of color in the United States. And we're committed to recognizing that and supporting and highlighting those growers in their work, in our work. We also believe that food is, everybody deserves healthy food, and that we as farmers are in a unique position to provide that to our local communities, whether you view that as a national food security issue or connecting with your local community or food as a human right, where we as farmers are the best people to be able to do that. And lastly, of mutual benefit, namely that our company forms and exists for the success of all of our members, not just the loudest ones or the ones who are the best at complaining, etc., which is reflected in our structure that I got into in the previous slide. Okay, so I want to get into kind of some of the challenges that led to GrownBy's formation in the first place. And this part, as well as the whole rest of the presentation, is going to follow a similar pattern to the way that GrownBy is structured itself, where it's a two-sided platform, where you have a customer side that basically anybody can make an account and participate in. And then there's a farmer side where you can go through some extra steps, become a seller, and then have access to a different set of features. So on the consumer side, folks may not know what's available. It could be a particular time of year, and somebody is committed, said, hey, I'm going to make a peach cobbler for this party, told everybody they were going to do that, go to the farmer's market, and there's no peaches. That could be very frustrating, and next time they have to make something particular, they might avoid going to the farmer's market or shopping local, instead going with a more secure option. As well, people just want to know what they're getting, and people are really expect a level of convenience now. There are things like DoorDash, Walmart sells organic food. There are a number of online organizations that I'm sure you already know about who are providing direct delivery, and we as farmers need to grow to provide that, at least meet customers part way towards what other things are providing. So on the consumer side of solutions, we've created this online marketplace and app. It's a simple to use, very attractive app interface. It makes it easy for anybody to shop anywhere, anytime. And we differ from some of the other online options for direct retail farms in that we are a marketplace. So rather than being something built into your website, your own shop that your customers go to directly, GrownBy is it's separate. It's its own marketplace that can be linked to your farm's website, but it exists more like a platform like eBay or Etsy or Airbnb, where, like I said, there's these anybody can shop, but some people can sell, etc. So just to give you an idea of the structure of the app itself. It makes it easy for everybody to buy local food. You can use the app to find what you're looking for nearby or find specific items that customers are looking for, and they can keep track of their orders and all of their if they have a CSA, multiple complex things in one place. Now, on the farmer side, finding more customers is tough. Producing more is a relatively straightforward technical challenge, but finding those customers and finding that demand is at least as much work as the technical production side. As well, direct sales are inefficient. It's very profitable on a bunch per bunch basis, but if you haven't, I'm sure you know somebody who spent all day at a farmer's market in the rain, spent more money on gas than they made from sales. And if you're doing a farmer's market in a CSA and you're selling to a couple restaurants, you've got a couple things going on, managing all of those different sales channels takes a huge amount of administrative capacity that keeps you out of the field or away from doing a lot of other things that you probably would prefer to do. And lastly, there's a trust gap with tech companies. Farmers want to offer their stuff online, but the big tech companies have their trust issues. And if you look in agriculture in the United States, there's many hundreds of years of history where the middle agent who controls the market, who controls the sale of the produce, controls that marketplace, keeps most of the profit for themselves, leaves the farmer out to dry. And we want to change that paradigm. So we envision GrownBy as a way to build community and relationships with food. It's very easy to make sales. It's very easy to effectively communicate with your customers, so more people can enjoy the fruits of your labor, literally. We also have a bunch of really great tools to ease the administrative burden of running a farm, which automates a lot of menial tasks like generating reports or processing transactions, pick lists, things like that, to save you a lot of time in the office, so you can be out in the field or maybe even take a break. We also envision, as a farmer-owned tech company, the most ethical version of ag tech. And as a cooperative, we as farmers have the opportunity to own our own market channel in this case, and the importance of that I don't think can be overstated. So, ta-da! We have GrownBy. At the time of this recording, we are in our 4th season, but the project has been in place for a number of years prior to that. But now it exists as an app. You can get it on both of the 2 major cell phone platforms, as well as any device that can go online. If you can get to a web browser, you can go to grownby.app. You can use GrownBy. Now, just to toot our own horn a little bit before we get into the nitty-gritty of the software, we have some of the top-rated support in the industry. We've won multiple awards for our technology, and we won the highest. We had the highest customer support rating from the CSA Innovation Network's e-commerce survey, which covered dozens of online platforms that farmers are using. You can see we've got some glowing reviews from some clients' farms that are using the platform now. And the reason we do this is because the staff, the community team, which includes myself, all consists of people who are either currently farming or have been farming very recently. We are all experienced direct retail farmers. We know what you need, we know what your business needs, so we can really provide high quality direct support to you. Now, for some context on where we are in growth as an app. We've been growing a lot. We're approaching 10,000 shoppers who are on the app. There are close to 400 farms as well on the platform. And in 2022, farms using GrownBy grossed over $2.3 million in sales. So obviously we're a startup. We're still growing. We're still relatively small compared to like Google, but we are doing what we set out to do, and we are providing a trusted service to both farmers and shoppers who are using it. Now, our pricing model is very transparent and straightforward. We just charge, or we deduct, a 5% fee on credit card transactions that we process through the platform. 2% of that goes to Farm Generations, and then 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction goes to Stripe, the payment processor. That roughly 3% is consistent over basically any credit card processor that you would use online. We don't take any fee for offline payments if you accept offline payments, whatever those might be. And we are also the first and only online platform to accept SNAP for direct retail farms, without a much more arduous process to get involved. And that is all entirely covered by USDA funding. In addition, to help offset some of these fees, we've given you a bunch of options. You can set a minimum cart size. So, each transaction has to be above a certain limit. You can then also give your customers the option when they're checking out to cover your fees and or give you a tip at checkout. And farms that are on the platform now are reporting that over 50%, 50 to 60% of their customers are electing to pay their fees, which significantly reduces the cost for you as the farmer to use the platform. And those fees, if you're a co-op member, still count towards your equity and your membership in the co-op. But we don't charge any startup fees. We don't charge any subscription fees. If you need a lot of direct support setting your farm up, if you have an interesting model with your CSA, we will spend direct one-on-one time with you to help you get that set up. And if you take a break in the winter, we don't charge you month to month just to keep your GrownBy presence up. We also don't charge any fees until you make a sale. So if you're signing up in the fall to make sales the following winter, you can get everything set, put together, and it won't cost you anything until you actually start selling. And lastly, your funds that you make through GrownBy are direct deposited directly into your bank account. So you don't have to worry about withdrawing your money or going through any process like that to get paid. Now, let's get into the features for farmers. Each one of these has their own slide, so we'll just get right into it. So your farm shop is your main spot for customers to find you on the platform. This is where people purchase your products. You have a profile page, which includes your space to tell your farm story, link to your social media, your website, things like that. You've got space for several photos. You can then have inside of your store an unlimited number of different products, shares, locations, and schedules. Now, going back to that previous slide with our pricing model, we don't charge tier fee. If you've got 30 shares, that's all good. As complex as you'd like to be or as simple you like to be, it's very straightforward. Within those products and shares, we give you the option to customize your categories. So if you're, for example, a vegetable farm, you probably don't want all of your vegetables under the category of vegetables. You would want greens and root vegetables and squash and things like that, just to give it a bit more makes it easier to navigate for your customers. And so we give you the ability to do that. You can also transparently show which producer has produced the item that you're selling. So if you're selling honey from your neighbor or beef from the local beef farm, both of those things you can transparently show. And it's very straightforward. And our guideline is that 50% of your sales should be of your own produce. That can be through value-added items as well. But that's our rule because that is what keeps us a producer-owned cooperative. You are also able to use hashtags to highlight any of your growing practices or local promotional schemes or anything like that you want to highlight that isn't necessarily included in an integrated certification label, which we also include into the platform. We have 6 different certification labels: USDA Organic, Certified Naturally Grown, Demeter Certified, American Grass-Fed Certified, and the American Animal Welfare Approved. And if I missed one, sorry to that one that I missed, but I think I got them all. You can also highlight and hide products. So if you have something, say like a Thanksgiving share, and you want to highlight that, you can pop that up to the top. Or if you run out of something or it's out of season, you can hide it entirely so it doesn't clutter up your store with a lot of items that are out of stock. So you can keep things really clear and concise. We also allow you to use promo codes. There's a lot of flexibility within this feature. That's a new one with version 3.2, where you can offer percentage discounts, dollar amount discounts, limit how many times the thing can be redeemed, how many times an individual customer can redeem it, etc. Gives you a lot of power and flexibility. Flexibility as well as low barrier to entry are really the name of the game when it comes to using GrownBy. Now, CSA is really what our platform was built around. There are farmers on the platform who have over 1,000 CSA customers on a weekly basis, and they're distributing to like 10 different locations throughout in multiple different metropolitan areas. There are also farms on our platform who have like 15 CSA members and are basically operating at a backyard small scale, and it still saves them time and energy. So it can really fit and scale to any size farm operation. You can create a seasonal share. You can create year-round shares. You can have primary or add-on options. So if you sell vegetables and you also sell eggs, but you only want your egg share to go to customers who have already bought your vegetables, you can do that as an example. We also offer a ton of payment flexibility, which is great for your customers and also great for you. You can do your traditional upfront payment, but we also process automatic weekly and monthly installment payments. You can set different price tiers for those different options, and you can also still charge a deposit so you can get some cash infusion at the beginning of the season when you really need it, but reduce that barrier to entry to your customers, make it easier for folks to buy local food. We automatically prorate after your distribution has begun. So if somebody signs up 2 weeks in, we do the math for you. You can connect products to your CSAs, so you can have, if you collect the site fee for a particular location or you want to add on a certain particular product, you can do that. We automatically send out reminders to your members, and we also have these sweet vacation week and pickup change features, which are on the consumer side of the presentation, so we'll get to them a little bit later. Now, standard products is the other one of the two of the three main ways to sell stuff on GrownBy. This is how people can put together custom boxes or use it to self-check out at a farmer's market. You get to decide what's available where, and you can set order deadlines for different locations differently. Your customers then pre-order for pickup, and we include a flexible inventory system which has two different options, one that's better suited more for produce and one that's better suited for meat, and as well as multiple buying options within each product. So you could, for example, sell tomatoes by the pound, buy the 10-pound flat, and buy the 30-pound crate and have it all come out of that same single inventory. But between all of these things, you can cover basically any farm product, and we also allow you to customize the amount, whether it's a pint or by the stem, etc. You can totally customize all of that. We automatically generate your pack lists, your sign-in sheets for the distributions. As of this week, we have released the delivery feature, which allows you to set up home delivery by given zip code. And we also have online SNAP. We are the only platform that accepts SNAP online for direct retail farms, and it is at no cost to you, the farmer, or to your customers. So that's a lot of fun. Lastly, we've got our farm credit feature. This is a way for customers to establish credit with your farm. It's not like general GrownBy credit, it's just with your farm. You can do this by creating a farm credit as a product and in any amount that you choose, $5 at increments to $20 increments, $100, whatever you want. Your customers can purchase that. You can also gift it as the farmer. So if you want to give a bonus, if people purchase a certain amount, you can easily do that. Or it's a nice alternative to issuing a refund. If somebody is unhappy, you can do a cash out, of course, through the credit card processor. But if you don't want to, a chargeback, excuse me. If you don't want to do that, you can give a farm credit and just without having to take money out of your pocket, give more purchasing power to your customers. This is a great option for like a spend down type of customized CSA, or people purchasing things throughout the season based on what they want. If a customer has farm credit, it will automatically be applied when they go to checkout, but they can decide to save it for later if they want to. And this same framework of digital products allows you to sell a whole variety of things that aren't directly connected to a particular location or inventory. So if you want to have accept a donation or like buy your farmer a beer, charge a delivery fee, take a deposit on a box or something like that. All of those are great options for the digital product feature. Now, EBT processing, as we said, we're the first and only online processor for direct market farms with no cost. On the customer side, it's basically just like using a credit card with the addition of adding a PIN. So it's very easy for customers. There's not any more additional hoops that they need to jump through. Anyone who is an EBT, who uses EBT to shop, can shop with you, and any farm who wants to can sell with EBT. This is a way. Well, because of the way the EBT works, it doesn't work for shares in the traditional sense, but you can, your customers can advance order individual products, or if you create a veggie box as an individual product, every week throughout the season that it's available, and then each week they get a reminder they have to enter their PIN, and that allows the transaction to run without triggering any fraud issues, and it's very easy compared to the existing options for using EBT to run a share or a CSA distribution. You can today get your market link number and become an authorized seller with the USDA, and then reach out to us so we can help you register with WorldPay and get your number that you need to process online. There is a survey. If you're interested, you can fill it out by following this link, which will be down below, but also you can email me at grow@farmgenerations.coop if you'd like to get more information. Now, our reports and admin are some really great features to save you time in the office, give you more time to do what you love. So firstly, we allow you to create admin accounts. So in addition to your account as a farmer who sets up the platform, you can add as many different employees, volunteers, etc., who need to have access to the back. If you've got a harvest manager who needs to get the pick list, but you've got a volunteer who's managing a distribution, you can give all of them access to the back end of the farm on GrownBy, and you don't have to share your password or any other sensitive information like that. We have a brand new sales report tab, which gives you a lot of information, also in a very concise way, about your recent sales, and also allows you to export that in 2 different ways, depending on how you want to look at it, in a CSV or Excel type of file. We could generate your pick reports based on a given date range, or also by your different locations that things are being distributed to. So you can organize a pack of your truck if that's how you're setting things up. We generate your sign-in sheets, which contain enough information that a moderately well-trained volunteer can run a pretty complex CSA distribution. It contains quite a bit of information, as well as your packing sheets for each individual order. And all of this data can be searched and filtered and exported in a lot of different ways to give you the information you need. You can get email addresses for your customers, so you can send a newsletter. You can export the data as a CSV file so that you can put it into a label maker to produce labels for your boxes. However you're trying to export this information, you're probably able to do it. And if you can't, you can reach out to us and we will help create a custom tool to give you the data that you need. Importantly, also, you can add customers and create orders for them without them having to interact with the app. So if you've got a chef who doesn't like to get online and just you have to call them to make the order, you can create a profile for them in their restaurant and run all their orders through that. And the same would go for a customer who isn't comfortable using the internet. They can always claim their account later, but they don't have to. And you can keep track of all of your information, your sales, etc., in GrownBy, so that your financial information is all accurate. You don't have to keep track of it in a lot of different places. You can also directly message your customers from the app, which gives them a notification as well as an email. It's a great way to be able to get in touch with people directly. If you have past due invoices, you can see all of those in one place. You can send reminders as well as new invoices. If perhaps dealing with a restaurant, it's easier to just send an invoice than go through inventory and removing things. Those are options you have also. Like I said, flexibility is the name of the game. Now, getting into the consumer side, again, all of these have their own slides, so we'll just dig into it. Once a customer has their GrownBy account, which is integrated into the checkout process, you don't need to create an account to shop. Once they have their GrownBy account, they can shop at any farm that's on our platform in the whole United States. They can use the local map feature to find distribution locations that are near them. They can also search for specific products, as well as browsing by category. So if it's Easter and they're shopping for lamb, they can look for all the lamb options nearby, for example. You can favorite farms to quickly access them, then leave reviews in the form of stars as well as paragraph. And we have a bunch of sign-in options to make it very easy to sign up, even as it is already integrated sort of into the checkout process. It's very low barrier, again, to get on GrownBy. Payments are quick and easy. So we securely save credit card information through the app. This is great for customers because it's convenient. It's great for you as a farmer, because if a customer is thinking about buying something, but they left their wallet in the other room, they'll buy it tomorrow and then they forget, they never do. That's less likely to happen this way because their credit card information should be saved in the app. Same goes for EBT. It's virtually the same as a credit card with the addition of the PIN. So that allows us to do recurrent billing for products like veggie boxes that are equivalent to a CSA share. We do those installment payments, which are great for you. Also as the farmer, because you don't have to send invoices every week. We just automatically do it. And if their credit card information is saved, it's just automatically charged. We process all of these transactions and give customers access to all of their invoices and receipts in one place on the app, so they can keep track of their multiple, if they're shopping at multiple farms, they can see all of that information in one place and see their receipts and all that stuff. We also, as I mentioned earlier, allow you to accept offline payments, and you set that policy as the farmer. And so because of that, that's part of that reason is we don't charge a fee for that. And part of the justification for that is because when you accept an offline payment, it's your responsibility to collect that payment. We can't collect cash on your behalf, or Bitcoin or checks or whatever it is that you are accepting as payment. And so that's the trade-off. It's free for you to use, but it also is a little bit more work on your end. And for customers who don't want to use a credit card, that's fine. And also, if you don't want to accept offline payments and just go only credit card, you have the ability to do that as well. Now, for customers reviewing what their orders are, they don't have to wonder what they're getting and when. It's easy to see your schedule. Their invoices and orders are easily accessible. Their pickup schedules are clearly formatted with when their next pickups are and where it is. The directions and contact info that's provided by the farmer is clearly visible in a number of different places, so they can see where it is, and if they have to reach out, they can do that. And if a customer has an upcoming invoice, they can pay that now in advance. So if their monthly payment hits on the 9th, they get paid on the 1st. They can just pay it and not have to worry about it. So with reminders and notifications, this is another big thing that we take off of your plate. So we send automatic push notifications if they have the app the day before, as well as at the beginning of the distribution. And we also send an email reminder the day before as well for pickups. This differs a bit from something like a newsletter, but we enable you to get those emails so you can send the custom newsletter that you want to through the platform that works best for you. And we just take care of the sort of nitty-gritty, the chore of sending out a weekly or a pickup reminder. As well, all transactions get an email receipt, so there's an electronic paper trail for every transaction. And customers can have 2 email addresses per account. So if there's 2, say, parents or 2 roommates who are both getting a CSA share and they're splitting it, they'll both get those notification emails, so they can both keep track of when and where they have to be picking stuff up. The notifications now include the notes from the farmer, which include the missed pickup policy, whatever your policy is, and the location information about the address and any specific information they need to know about that location. If there's a certain door they need to use or something like that, a note that you've included, that'll be included in every single notification. Now, Vacation Weeks is an awesome feature both for farmers and for customers. This enables you, when you're setting up your CSA shares, you set your change by date, which can differ by different groups. So you can give different change by dates to, say, people who are picking up on the farm versus you're delivering to a nearby metropolitan or not so nearby metropolitan area. As well as the number of vacation weeks for each individual share, which can be 0. You don't have to do this, but you can set it however you want. Then a customer can claim in advance a vacation week if they're not going to be away, which, if there's a 20-week CSA and they're going to miss 2 of those weeks, there's a pretty significant value of the money they've invested with you that they're going to miss out on. This allows them to retain that they get a prorated farm credit for the weeks that they're going to miss. You as the farmer get a notification, but you don't have to take any action. Your pack list will automatically be updated, and you don't have to do anything besides acknowledge that they're not going to be there. You don't have to remember that they're not going to be there, put it in Excel or anything like that. So your customers retain that value, and you provided a very high level of customer service to your customer without lifting a finger, and you now have a customer who has more money in their account they're going to come back and spend with you in the future. We also offer location switching. So again, within a location group, your customers can switch their pickup location on our Monday to Sunday week is the way that our app operates. And so if, say, they want to pick up at the farmer's market on Saturday instead of at the school on Wednesday, you don't have to worry about getting a text message when you're out in the field and having to remember when you're back in the office, etc. You just set that change window of how far in advance people need to let you know. You get that notification. You don't need to take any action, and your pack list will be automatically updated. That person will be moved to the other location. Account updates are self-service as well for customers. So it gives your customers the opportunity to update their own data on GrownBy, and also makes it so that you don't have to keep a separate address book to keep track of all of your customers' data. You can, of course, export their information at any time. We don't keep anything in that way. But if somebody changes their phone number or their email address, if they update the app, it's updated for you too. We've got the 2 email addresses, which I mentioned, phone number, favorite food, pronouns. These are optional, but they're a good thing to, some people like to offer that information. And you also have a notes section that's private for the farmer. So if a customer has a particular allergy or they hate green peppers or something like that, you can include that note so you can keep that in mind for your future dealings with them. That about wraps up our feature rundown for GrownBy to give you a view of the future, and some of which is actually here now. More of our 3-point-some releases that'll come out this year in 2023. So we've got online SNAP processing. That's live now. There's a bit of a process to do that in addition that you can, in addition to the base getting of your reader and stuff like that, we will coach you through it. You can contact me at grow@farmgenerations.coop, and I'll send you more information about that. We now have local delivery, which you can do by zip code, as well as coupon discount codes, which are live now. And we will add shipping using a carrier of the post office or whatever later in the year, which you'll be able to do state by state. We are also improving our third-party app integration, so we'll be adding things like QuickBooks integration. We're looking into integrating with other email services for newsletters. Basically, our app architecture now allows us to connect with other apps more easily, and we are when we do that, we work with farms who are on the platform to help us beta test the features and make sure that they're actually doing what you need them to do to work for you. We also are improving our reports and data management. So we've got that new sales report tab that I mentioned, but we're now gathering data in ways that allows us to give you more good data about your farm and your farm business. So you can find out, week over week, which item perhaps what you sold the most of, or this one random week where you sold more potatoes than you did every other week of the year. And so now you know that, and you might want to grow more for that particular week next year. Things like that. Or this week is really slow, so maybe you could take that week off the market, etc. The more data that we get, the more data we give back to you, the better you can plan your business. All of these improvements as well are directly the result of farmer feedback of either farmers who are using the platform or farmers who are looking at using the platform and need something specific. So if there's something that you're looking for, let us know and we'll put it on the list, and we will probably turn it into a part of the app in the future. That is where rounds up the presentation. So you can contact me at either grow@farmgenerations.coop or mark@farmgenerations.coop if you have more questions. You can sign up for a meeting with me at my Calendly, which is calendly.com/mark-farmgen, or go to either farmgenerations.coop or grownby.app and click through to any of the schedule a demo buttons, and you can book a meeting, which would book a meeting with me, and then we can talk more about your farm's business and how maybe GrownBy could work well for you. That's about it for me. Thank you so much for your time. Again, appreciate you being here. Hope to see you on GrownBy sometime soon. But until then, happy growing.